G'day folks, how you going? Peter Bushman here. Today's feature, bush tucker for this year, which is bush tucker season right now, is the infamous geebung. Now this is a native tree found in Australia, all over the scleral forests and heaths and dry stony forests through Australia. In Sydney particularly, we've got this narrow leaf geebung, and this is kind of looks like a pine tree, but it's got flat leaves about 70mm long. They're not round, and they have this tiny little berry on them. If you can see that. And this particular one, the narrow leaf geebung, this has a black flaky bark, which can also actually be used as a tinder. I hope you can see that. When you flake the bark off, it becomes reddish maroon sort of colour. I'll give you a closer look at that. Okay, here's the berry, or the fruit. Now, I'll get to talking about the fruit in a second. So here's the bark. Now the bark starts off as a greyish colour like this in young saplings. There's not a young one about here. Oh, actually there's one. There's one here. See, this young specimen has grey hard bark. And when that matures after a couple of years, it'll get this black flaky bark, which is actually a good tinder, which I already mentioned. And underneath it's got this maroon. I don't want to mark too much. See that? Focus. Alright, so getting back to the fruit. Okay, this fruit, it's not edible by picking it off the tree. A lot of people have mentioned to me that these taste like crap because they come up and they go, "Oh, berry. Ah, that's horrible." Well, that's because the fruit is covered by a skin that is astringent. Now, you don't pick up a mango and bite into a mango, do you? No, you peel it. And these are very similar to a mango in a way. They have this fibrous cotton wool-like fibre that's attached to the seed, very similar to a mango, surrounded by a sweet pulp. I'll cut one open in a second, but you do, as I said, you do not pick these off the tree. You wait until they fall. Now, this is the peak season for them, November. Now, they will fall onto the ground. They will be collected by wallabies, emus, fruit bats if they're around, all sorts of animals. Here's one here that's actually probably from last season that's actually dried out on the tree. So I'll give you a look at a few that I've picked up. Just angle this camera down. Alright, so here's a few that I've picked up. Now, this one's pretty squashy, look at that. You can just squeeze that pulp out on the stone. But when you pick them up, some are quite hard. I'll get a hard one and show you the difference. This one from the ground here that I've just picked up, you can see it's quite hard. Oh, actually no, it's not quite hard, but it's hard in some areas. Now, you roll them in your finger and squeeze, and feel if you can see if you can feel the stone moving underneath your fingers, right? See how that one's squashy? I can feel the stone moving around. Alright, you want to feel that stone moving around. Some of these are blotched with purple. That's fine, that's the species. Alright, I'll show you the easiest way to eat these in a second. There's one that's really soft. You can see him. You can see the juice and the seed moving around. Alright, so here's one that I squeezed out. Now this skin, like I said, it's just like a mango skin. That's astringent. Alright, so you want to throw that away. Now here's your seed. I'll just get that to focus. Focus. It's not going to focus that close. Sorry, I'm still learning this camera. That's probably a nice shot there. Alright, so we've got this seed surrounded by the fibrous pulp. So basically all you do is you whack that in your gob. And lick your fingers. And they're very sweet. Okay, the easiest way to eat these, after you've found them on the ground, try talking without that seed in my mouth. So I've picked these up off the ground. Okay, I'll just explain. When these fall to the ground, they will go pale green to whitish. As you can see, these are quite white. This one here is dark on one side, light on the other. And like I said, some have purple stains, but they will all have this little telltale yellow tail on the end of the fruit. That's how you can tell they're a geebung on the tree and on the ground. Now, I do have another geebung in my pocket here from another species. Oops, oh no, I squashed it. Now you can see this one's quite larger than the rest. This is actually a flat leaf geebung on another species up the track. I'll show you in a second. Oh, no, there it is. There's the bigger one. You can see the size difference in that. Now this one is picked directly off the tree, as there were none on the ground. So you can see the size difference. This is flat leaf geebung, this is narrow leaf geebung. These are delicious, like the bigger ones are awesome. Right, just get this one out of the pocket. So you see when they're ripe, they just squeeze straight out. That one's a little rotten. So you've got to get them before they rot, you've got to get them before the animals do. So, demo on how to eat these, or how to peel these effectively. Right, so you grab it, find the soft spot. Right, there's the soft spot just there by squeezing it. And what you do is what I do is I kind of squeeze it a little bit, bite a piece out and spit it away, and then squeeze it out like that. That's all you need. Throw the skin away. You don't really need a knife. You can use a knife, and you can just put a slit in it and pop them open if you don't want to use your teeth. But these are tasty. These are one of the tastiest, sweetest things I can find in the bush. And you can actually, well, people have actually tracked Aboriginals through the ages by tracking areas where geebung have been. This is something I've read, and they follow the trails of seeds because people are chewing them, spitting out the seeds. That's repopulating the trees, and it's leaving a trail for people to follow. So keep that in mind if you're not wanting to be followed. Probably shouldn't say that, but yeah, some of these, bang, that doesn't look that tasty. Bang, doesn't look that tasty. So the easier they are to squeeze, that's, yeah, the easier they are to squeeze, usually they'll be a little bit less palatable, a little bit on the turn. So you want them ones that just move under your finger. Bite the skin, pinch the skin, squeeze it out, pop it in your mouth, throw the skin away. So, as I said, these are Persoonia. Linearis is the narrow leaf geebung. I'll give you another quick look at the leaves. Like I said, these look similar to a pine tree. They grow similar to a pine tree. It can be very spindly and not produce a lot of fruit. There's quite a few of these through my local area, but they are not prolific producers of fruit. These are very sparse, these ones. You can see there's a couple of she oaks in the way here, but you can see these ones here with the grey branch. You can see here, these are quite common bunches here, whereas in my other pictures I'll show you in a second, out in some of the national parks, they're very, very prolific. So if you want to do a little bit of animal spotting, set yourself up near some geebung trees, and or even some trail cams. Set up some cameras near a geebung, near a geebung tree that's got a lot on the ground. Now I've even actually, to see what's in the local area, sometimes I gather what's on the ground. You can have a look through here. You can see them in the leaves quite clear. There's not too many on this ground. There's another one in here. What I've done, I've actually set them up out in the middle of the track here. It's a little pile. And I come back the next day and I check the tracks and see what's in there. Okay, I'll take you for a walk to see the narrow leaf geebung. Pick the bag. As I said, these grow in a dry heath or sclerophyll forest. This is sandy, rocky and dry, and populated with a lot of the same species of trees like grey gums and native cherries. Try not to move the camera too quick. This is the track I always come down. A lot of bird life around here, so you'll get a lot of cockies and king parrots will get to the trees a lot of the time and eat them. Okay, here's our specimen. This one's actually, these don't usually flower until winter. It's on the verge of spring, but this one is actually coming back into flower right now, and it's the start of November. So you can see the big fat wide leaves on this, and the very similar dark flaky bark, which is reddish underneath. But look at the size of these geebungs. They are huge, they're grape size. Now this is not a very prolific fruit of this tree. It's very, very sparse, but just for educational purposes, this is what a flat leaf geebung looks like. And it's very hard to find a fruit on the ground here. Well, I can't find one. I had a look earlier. But yeah, this is, I'll give you another quick look at these flowers. These are beautiful flowers, especially when they come out. Yeah, can we see all see that? Let me put my tripod down. Now when these flowers come out, you can see how tiny they are compared to my finger. They'll have like 4 little petals that will splay out. They're very pretty flowers. Here comes the chopper. Feels like an army chopper. So there we go. That's the flat leaf geebung, and we've got some small specimens of. Here's a very young specimen of the narrow leaf. These grow very spindly. He's for flying over while I'm recording. But yeah, you can see these are sparsely populated with fruit. Oh, look at that. I don't think I got that on camera, did I? I was too busy looking to look at the camera. That was five army choppers going over. I have that a lot around here. They do a lot of exercises. I don't mind the sound of that at all. So here we've got another small geebung. It's been snapped off from maybe some sort of borer or dying off. Alright, I think I'll... Alright, so remember when you're out in the bush and you see these little green berries, remember geebung, spelt G-E-E-B-U-N-G. A lot of people call them by other names, which I'm not going to mention. Geebung, one of the snacks of the bush. Thanks for watching, eh? Cheers. Woo!